I was captured a couple times.
What?
Yep. And one time I was captured.
Who says that? I was captured a couple times. By who?
The enemy. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And we went to the Middle East. This is way before the wars. And we're with our Egyptian commando counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to do what they do. They do what we do. You lose face. So they were killing these snakes and these frogs and these poisonous snakes on their boots and putting the snakes in the mouth and peeling the skin back, taking the venom sacs out and eating the snakes and eating the frogs. So we did the same thing.
What the fuck?
And then we all got food poisoning. So there were 4 of us on this mission, and we couldn't tell anybody what we're doing. Then we left the Egyptian commandos with food poisoning, got in our flight, flew into another country, parachuted into the middle of the night with a rubber boat, 4 of us, sick as could be, got in the rubber boat. They said, whatever you do, stay out of the water. It's infested with sharks because the Arabs kill all their camels. They put all the intestines in the water, and it's shark infested. Stay out of the water. So we jumped in that rubber boat as quickly as we could. We're all afraid of sharks, and we're sick as can be. It's middle of the night. We took the rubber boat up to the enemy-controlled beach, and we just observed the beach for a couple hours just to make sure there wasn't enemy activity. And myself and my buddy, we swam out of the boat, and we swam to the shore in the shark-infested waters. We're worried about that. And we had to find a place to hide for 3 days. To observe, over to the right was an enemy airfield with planes coming and going, and to our left was an enemy shipyard with ships coming and going. And we had to do a reconnaissance so we could watch the flights and the ships coming and going for 3 days. And there wasn't a place to hide, so we decided to dig a hole. We dug one hole to put the motorboat in, the motor, everything we didn't need for the mission. We buried it with sand. And then next to us, we dug another hole for the 4 of us, all sick with food poisoning. We had long hair and beards, and we had our rucksacks and weapons. And we had to sit in that hole and put camouflage netting over our heads before daylight. And we all had diarrhea. We're all vomiting, urinating, and we're sick as can be, and we're in this hole. You couldn't leave the hole once you're in it because now it's daylight. And then high tide came up, and we filled up our hole up to water, up to our necks, and we're living in sewage for the next 3 days. And we're sick as could be. We had goggles on because of sandstorm. We're still blowing through the net, and our ears and noses were packed with sand. And we're sick as could be. We had our weapons. We had our rucksacks. We're trying to do our job. Nobody complained. We're doing our work, and this guy comes out of nowhere, and he starts walking toward the hole, and all his clothing's blowing in the wind, and he looks down, and his eyes got bigger and bigger and bigger, and he sees 4 guys with beards, long hair, with weapons under this camouflage netting, and he backed off and ran off, so we got caught. He went back to the village, and he got reinforcements, and we knew he was going to do that.
So why didn't you get up and leave?
Well, we did. As soon as he left, we got out of that hole, quickly undug the other hole with the boat, tried to inflate the boat, get the motor on it, got us all out. We're sick as can be. Now it's 3 days without eating or drinking.
And you're
vomiting.
dehydrated because you're vomiting and shitting everywhere.
Before we finished, 14 guys with AK-47s came up over the little hill. They pointed the weapons to our chest and our heads. Their fingers were on the trigger, and they were scared to death. They circled around us. We put our hands up. And one of them, who could speak broken English, said, "Down, down, down. We shoot you in the backs for trespassing." And we're standing there with our hands up, sick as can be. We said, "No, we're going to go back in that boat. We're going home."
Yeah.
They said, "No, we shoot you for trespassing." They sent somebody out to the village to get an interpreter. He came back at daylight the next day. They held us at gunpoint overnight. And the interpreter said, "You guys trespassed. The penalty is we shoot you in the backs." We said, "No, we're going back on our boat, and we're going home." They didn't know where our home was. They didn't know where the United States was. They let us go. They shouldn't have.
What?
Because we're as sick as can be. We're out at sea. The next night, still without sleep, we're eating and vomiting and diarrhea and all that. We came around, caused them a bunch of problems, and we won, and they lost.